Hey there, welcome back to the channel. After working 15 years in the mining and construction industry, I've learned one valuable lesson. Always think twice before you start working with your machine. So dive with us into the world of heavy equipment fails and wins, and stick around until the end, because we've got some amazing footage lined up, from all around the world, and even from our own mind. All right, let's roll. First clip for today comes from Bangladesh, or maybe India. Same thing to me. Poor load assessment always brings risk, and as you're about to see why. That's the kind of risk that almost never pays off. I mean, look at this dude, standing right under a massive load like that. One wrong move from the crane operator, and he'll end up flat like a pancake. Good thing he stepped away at the last second. Otherwise, we'd be talking about a tragedy right now. And here we've got another brainiac who thinks he's got superpowers. Seriously, I don't know what's in their heads, risking their life like it's nothing. I honestly don't even know how to describe this. The guy actually survived because he didn't buckle up. He bailed out right before the whole thing went down. And trust me, it went under like nothing. And finally, this is how things are supposed to work. Just amazing to watch. From loading, to evenly spreading the haul trucks across the barge, and then unloading them. This one's a big win and a great job by the workers. I really don't know why this happened, but one thing's for sure. This ring, weighing over 220 pounds, could have seriously injured someone. A well-known method for crossing frozen rivers or lakes is to lay down wooden beams or makeshift pontoons on top of the ice, and then just hope it can handle the weight of the machine. But here's the problem. People often forget the ice may already be weakened, or the machine is simply too heavy for that thickness. And that's exactly how situations like this happen. The driver was like, "Oh, what the heck? I've still got 10 wheels left, no problem at all." Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some wild and fascinating moments from the mining and construction world. You'll see how these valuable machines operate and the kind of challenges they deal with every single day. We're starting off in South Africa, in the city of Cape Town, where a dead breeder whale washed up on Sunset Beach. Local authorities had no choice but to bring in heavy equipment to remove the poor animal from the shore. Now, some of you might say this looks harsh or even disrespectful to the whale. But honestly, there's just no other way. You can't leave a 44,000-pound carcass to rot on the beach, or worse, explode near some unlucky tourist. That's exactly why these machines are so important. So let's take a look at how the process of removing this massive animal actually went down. Poor animal. Well, it is what it is. I wonder where these carcasses end up when they wash ashore. Well, you probably remember at the beginning of this video when I said, after 15 years in the mining and construction industry, I've learned one rule: always think twice before you start doing anything with your machine. Well, looks like this guy's got nothing to think with. I don't even know how to describe this situation. The truck is equipped with a reverse camera, which means the driver had a full view of everything happening behind him. And yet somehow, he still managed to back up straight into the truck behind. Honestly, I have no idea where he was looking. Luckily, the driver in the other truck wasn't hurt, but this could have easily turned into a much bigger tragedy. Here's another clip that could have easily ended in tragedy. Luckily, this guy has a lot of experience climbing high walls. Someone had to repair a mining cable that burned out right on the high wall, and there was simply no other way to reach it but on foot. A risky job that always has the potential to turn into disaster. Much respect to this guy for pulling it off. In this video, we're going to show you what it looks like when a powerful gyratory cone crusher gets jammed. Oh, and by the way, if you're into these machines, make sure to check out the other videos on this channel. There are tons of videos of gyratory cone crushers in action that you don't want to miss. Passing on a double line is strictly forbidden, especially when you're near an intersection. But this guy went ahead and did just that, putting himself and others in danger, slamming straight into the trailer of a turning truck. Luckily, the driver only got pinned between the steering wheel and the seat and wasn't seriously injured. He got lucky, because if he had hit this big boy instead, the story would have ended very differently. And if you've ever wondered just how massive these haul trucks really are, well, here's the true size. At 45 feet long, 26 feet tall, and 32.8 feet wide, this Komatsu 980-4 makes regular vehicles look tiny in comparison. If you ever see one of these giants coming your way, you'd better pull over into a big turnout. Crazy to think that at 564,092 pounds, it doesn't even leave a mark on the asphalt. And if you've ever wondered how these giants actually move, well, take a look. Most people think they're powered through a rear differential, but nope. What you're seeing here are the gears of massive electric motors mounted in the back. Those electric motors are powered by a huge diesel engine that drives a generator, creating electricity that feeds the motors. And that's how this monster truck moves. Pretty impressive, right? The giant WA900 is maintaining the safety berm. Yeah, I know. This beauty is desperately in need of some greasing. You can literally hear it screaming. You've got a boom and a bucket, but instead, you decide to push this massive boulder with your tracks. You've got to be completely crazy or way too confident to even try that. Still, hats off, sir, and thanks for this amazing footage. Just imagine this, where you now see all this sludge, the water, this muddy lake. There used to be a forest. Pretty incredible sight, isn't it? Imagine this. You spend the whole day loading up this truck, putting in all that hard work, and then this happens. Going back to what I said earlier, you really need to think twice before you start doing something, especially when lives are at stake. Luckily, the truck only tipped to the side, which was enough for the entire load to spill everywhere. On top of that, the truck itself seems to have suffered some serious damage. So, yeah, for this guy, the whole day was a total loss. And most likely, it's going to take him another whole day just to clean up this mess. This right here shows why working with heavy equipment in extreme conditions is so dangerous, why it demands full concentration, and why you always need to stay on high alert. If you noticed at the very beginning of the clip, just a few seconds earlier, a white truck passed right under these rocks before they came crashing down on the road. That guy was so lucky. And this footage gives us a clear look at what it's like working in extreme conditions and what happens when disaster strikes. Just imagine what could have happened to that white truck full of workers if it had passed by the excavator at that very moment. Because of the heavy rainfall, this muddy and unstable bench in the mine had already started giving way, so the crew moved the excavator to a safer spot. But the very next day, another mudslide hit, pushing material and debris all the way down, slamming into the excavator and shoving it several meters to the side. Luckily, no one was hurt. Basically, what they're doing here is well planned. One truck pulling from the front, the other keeping it steady to prevent a rollover. But it seems they didn't fully account for the tanker's weight. And remember, it's flammable. One spark, and the whole thing could go sky high. I think it's better to leave it just the way it is and not try anything else. For a job like this, you need some serious heavy machinery. You thought only cars could do donuts and burnouts, but you're wrong. Here's how trains do it, steel on steel, and it looks absolutely awesome. But to prevent this kind of wheel slip, they came up with a system. Right next to the wheel, there's a sprayer that drops something onto the rail to increase traction. If anyone knows what those little white granules are, drop it in the comments. Now, it looks like this guy could use some of those little granules under the wheels, too. Adding a new drill rod to the Atlas Copco FlexiRock D50 drilling rig. What a great piece of equipment in action. Smooth, powerful, and built for tough conditions. dropping a 100,000-pound boulder with a Cat 988G over the edge. Now that's got to be awesome. All right, let's see how it goes. Just perfect. Guess what this is? If you didn't know, these are blades for a wind farm. Each blade measures about 280 feet long and weighs around 70,000 pounds. Let's take a walk around and see just how massive these really are. Enjoy the view. And this truck is eagerly waiting to haul that massive load down the road. This kind of reminds me of some German cannon from World War II. I can't quite remember the name right now. If anyone knows, drop it down in the comments. Here's an interesting clip. A bulldozer cutting a slope to make a road for service vehicles. At first, everything looks fine, smooth as it should be. But this shows how fast things can turn dangerous. Even when the operator is skilled and plans every move ahead, unexpected stuff always happens. Like this huge boulder that suddenly broke loose and rolled right across the road. Luckily, no vehicle was passing by at that moment. But it's only when you get closer that you realize just how massive that thing really is. For now, the trucks are getting past those huge boulders without much trouble. But if another one drops, we've got a problem. There's no larger heavy equipment nearby to move them, so the grader's going to do its best to clear the road. Oh, and if you want to see how this whole amazing project turned out in the end, check out the link in the top right corner. That video's pretty interesting. Well, well. It's been a while since we've had some footage from Russia. As always, a poor load assessment ended in disaster for the owner. The entire crane, cab and all, was ripped right off the chassis. And this is why you always wear a seatbelt. The operator was literally catapulted out of the cab.
Wait, this is gonna be a choreograph.
All right, let's move from Russia to the US. Duxbury Beach, Massachusetts, just southeast of Boston. Here's the situation. A loader went in to help a pickup truck the day before, but it ended up stuck as well. Then the tide came in and completely submerged it. To recover the machine, they had to bring in 2 excavators. Now the big question is, what condition will the loader be in after 6 months? With salt water flooding the engine, transmission, and hydraulic pumps, chances are it won't be pretty. Salt eats through metal, wiring, and seals faster than you'd think. Bailing out of the cab is definitely a safe option in situations like this. But honestly, I think he would have been better off staying buckled up inside. Nothing but trouble for this XCMG mobile crane. The grader cleared the mud off the road, so let's see if it can make it through now. To wrap things up, here's a pretty common job in the mine. We'll try to redirect this water that's bubbling up right in the middle of the road into a drainage channel. For the task, we're using a Cat 18M 3 grader. And here's what that looks like in action. Enjoy. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. Here we can see the water flowing through the channel I cut. But I think one more pass would still be needed to make sure the channel holds up and the water doesn't spill out when the haul trucks roll over it. And here's how it looks after the second pass, a nice and clean drainage channel. Well guys, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It would mean a lot to us and really help with future projects. Until the next video, stay safe.